Although I would hurry up because Mom ain't gonna wait forever. The day after the award ceremony. Ryme City. Rides the wind from town to town.
Whoa, that's a lot of whimsicott.
Sure is. They ride through on seasonal winds every year.
I hear they can be real pranksters.
If they get in a house they like, they scatter cotton everywhere.
Sounds like a pain to clean up.
Yep.
Little
The
cuties.
sweet smell of coffee is calling my name.
It's the perfect Pikachu bait.
Tim!
Frank Holiday, Ryme City Police Inspector.
Inspector Holiday, did you finally find my dad?
Sorry. No. I'm here on a different case. We've received reports of a jewel theft. Could you lend me a hand with this one?
Of course.
The incident occurred at the dentist residence, the mansion down the street. Sorry, but Brad is waiting for me. I'll go ahead and meet up with you there.
So much for my coffee.
And you can still go in there and get your coffee. Okay, let's go, Pikachu. No coffee. Wait a second, Tim. I gotta get my coffee. What for? There's no need to rush. You've got to be calm and unhurried if you want to do your best investigating. Yeah, I guess it's true. Pikachu's a real talkative Pokemon. If you see this Pikachu icon in the lower left corner of the screen, you can press the right button to chat with him. Sometimes Pikachu will try to get your attention and a Pikachu icon will bounce to let you know he wants to talk. If you see this icon bouncing, press the right button to hear what Pikachu has to say. Otherwise...
Tim. Look, I know we need to hurry, but would it really hurt if we relaxed a bit? For instance... Oh, here's a good idea. You could listen to some sage advice from a great detective like me. Okay.
Oh, but Holiday's waiting. We better go join him. Oh my God! What is that polygraph doing over there? Hariyama over there! Oh my Lord! A lot of shady stuff going on over here. Indeed, it really helps. What? Loosen up the knots in my shoulder. Indeed. What are those two Pokemon doing over there? Nothing, kid. Don't worry about it. Oh no, Hariyama's facing off against Poliwrath again. Why does he act out like this? He's usually so gentle. Something wrong? My partner Hariyama loves showing off his strength, especially when he can't test it against someone else's. And since Poliwrath is also proud of its muscles, Hariyama considers it his rival. Once they start going at it, it's hard to stop them. Yikes. Guess we better avoid that alley for now. Oh my God. Get out of here with these innuendos, you freaks. Great job, Maractus. Your dancing is so cute. From the top, 1, 2, 1, 2. Raka raka. Oh Lord.
Whoa!
Hey Tim, that's not the way to the crime scene. The back alley, you know what I mean? Get out of there, Tim.
Tim!
I appreciate you coming on such short notice, Tim. This way, the crime took place at the dentist's residence up ahead. Follow me! Through this convenient wall over here. How about a little snack for you and your partner? Well, these menu items use all sorts of different berries. With so many choices, they could cater to any Pokemon's taste. They give me the illusion of freedom. There's no freedom in this town. It's just a hellscape. Go to the crime scene. Oh my goodness.
Well, 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 if it isn't the great detective.
Well, if it isn't the snide, over-rich businessman. And his over-incompetent dog. It's been a while, Brad. I see you're on the case, too. Oh, I am. I suppose that means you are as well. You private detectives do love sticking your noses into every little thing. If Mr. Dennis hadn't requested you personally, I'd be asking you to leave right now. Yep, he's still a jerk. Think he's still holding a grudge from that time we showed him up? Ah! Says no funny business. Sheesh, no wonder you two are partners. That's enough, Brad. We're going to be conducting this investigation together. This is the scene of the crime, right? Yes, this mansion belongs to Sanjeev Dennis, a jeweler. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't own this residence. Somebody else does. Mr. Dennis is one of the wealthiest men in Ryme City. Under normal circumstances, a civilian like yourself would never have the opportunity to meet him. Make sure you don't do anything to offend him. Oh, and don't get in the way of our investigation either. He's just got to get a dig in somewhere, doesn't he? Okay, Tim, come inside. Since I'm the only real detective person, you guys just don't dress like it. The missing jewel. How did he get that priceless Pikachu picture of Ho? And Lugia?
I see.
Alright, Tim. Mr. Dennis is waiting for you in the room to the right. Thanks, Inspector Holiday. I was about to go to the left. Because my mind was telling me to go over here. The name of this painting is Golden Sunrise, and it depicts Ho-Ho, Pokemon that's spoken of in legends. They say it brings eternal happiness, and that's it. And that's its wings shine with rainbow-colored light. Rainbow-colored light, huh? Painting sure is beautiful, but I'll bet the real thing is even more breathtaking.
Manic.
Hey, I have a couple questions to ask. Got a moment? Manic. Don't want to waste time chatting while you're on duty, huh? Awfully stubborn, aren't you? You're even harder to talk to than Brad's Manatric. Oh, that's I thought that was his Manatric. Lieutenant McMaster is currently interviewing Mr. Barnes in this room.
Excuse me?
I guess it would be too much to ask for us to join in, right? I'm afraid we can't allow even the great Detective Tim to do that. Well, police protocol, you understand? And get the hell out of here. Lieutenant McMaster is currently interviewing Mr. Barnes in this room. If you don't step away from that door, I'll be forced to use my taser. You better step away, son. That's not the way to the room Holiday mentioned. I was just passing by. What's going up there? Good God, Pikachu, mind your business. The name of this painting is Silver Waves, and it depicts Lugia, a Pokemon known as the Guardian of the Seas. It's rumored to live deep down on the ocean floor, but no one's ever seen it. That makes sense. The ocean floor is not exactly a place you just casually visit. Well, if nobody's ever seen this Pokemon, then how in the world did they draw such a perfectly version of Lugia? How'd they do it? I'm assuming nobody's seen a Ho-Ho too? What kind of world is this?
Oh, Tim, I've been waiting for you.
Oh! You know, somehow I expect that voice. Sanjeev Dennis, the jeweler. God at the Dennis residence. He let his guard down. Oh, poor Growlithe. Wow. My name is Sanjeev Dennis. I'm a jeweler, and this is my partner Growlithe. Yep, he let me down. Wow. I'm Detective Tim Goodman, and this is my partner Pikachu. Sorry to jump right into it, but could you please tell us what you know about the incident?
Oh.
A precious jewel was stolen while I was out of the house. It's called the Aurora Drop, and it's a very rare jewel indeed. The Aurora Drop? What a mysterious name. Magical even. The thief injured one of my staff members and made off with a jewel. Oh no! Thankfully, my staff member's injuries were minor, and yet... Is something sticking out to you as odd? Well, the police are treating my trusted butler as the prime suspect. They think the butler did it? Could you tell me a bit more about the stolen jewel? Looks like this. Most gemstones must first be cut and polished into beautiful jewels. Oh, the way it shines looks a bit like an aurora. Yes, that's precisely how it's got its name. Oh, Tim, I thought you were cultured. The aurora drop has been the subject of many a tale, but it was thought to be nothing more than fiction. Even among us jewelers, for the longest time, we called it the jewel of legend. Wow, he wasn't kidding when he called it precious. Guess it's no surprise that someone wanted to steal it. Definitely sounds valuable. Where were you displaying it? I kept it securely locked within a special reinforced case inside my jewel storage room. These are locks on both the storage room door and the reinforced case. And yet, despite all that security, it still got stolen? You mentioned that the police already have a suspect. Yes, they believe that the thief is my own trusted butler Barnes. Why do they think that? Because Barnes and I are the only people who can access the key to the storage room. What's keeping someone else from getting to it? The key is always kept around Growlith's neck. If anyone but Barnes or myself attempted to take it from her, Growlith would start barking. My Growlith is a very loyal Pokemon. She would never allow the key to be taken by a stranger. I don't see a key around Growlith's neck right now. The police think Barnes took it. That would certainly make sense, assuming Barnes really is the culprit. Mr. Dennis, if possible, I'd like to talk with Barnes. He's currently being questioned by the police. But you don't believe Barnes is the thief, is that correct? I've known Barnes since we were young. He's worked in this home for years and has always served us well. I'm certain that he'd never steal from me, but I couldn't possibly imagine hurting him again. So you're saying Barnes didn't do it and the real culprit is still at large? That's right. Someone else must have stolen the jewel. Please help me prove that Barnes is innocent. Ah, so that's why he called us here, to clear his butler's name. We'll talk to Barnes later. So, finding the Aurora drop and clearing Barnes of suspicion. Those are the two things you called us here to do? Could you please? You're the only ones I can count on. Our job is to investigate the case and reveal the truth. We won't know if Barnes is truly innocent until we look into this more. Yeah, the police must have at least some reason to suspect him. But we'll do what we can. If that's acceptable to you, we'll take the case. That's more than acceptable. Thank you, Tim. Great. In that case, may I start investigating the scene of the crime? Of course. The jewel storage room is just upstairs. I know you won't let me down. Like this Growlithe did. Wait a second, Tim. There's something I want to try, starting with this case. Something you want to try? Yeah, a case notebook. You know, to save you a game. Nothing fourth wall about that. The writers for Detective Journal swear by it. Detective Journal? That's the magazine you're always reading, right? Yeah, that's the one. They researched the most efficient way for detectives to organize their case notes. The solution they came up with was a case notebook. Sounds intriguing. How does it work? I'm getting to that. First, open up your notebook. Oh my goodness! Sanjeev's Dennis jewel has apparently been stolen, but how did the culprit steal it? Investigate the scene of the crime on the second floor for clues. First, let's write in the notebook any burning questions that arise while we're investigating. We'll summarize the testimony and evidence that we've gathered during our investigation on the page below. Oh, let's touch his face! The Aurora drop is Mr. Dennis's prized jewel. Someone's stolen it! After we've collected enough testimonies and evidence, the begin deducing option will appear. When you select this, we could start deducing the answers to our questions. We don't have enough testimonies or evidence right now, but once we do, we'll be able to start deducing. I guess actually using the notebook is the best approach. So Tim, what do we have to do right now? We have to collect testimonies and evidence to figure out how the jewel was stolen. Are you gaslighting me right now? Of course we gotta do that. To do that, we first have to investigate the scene of the crime. That's right. Let's go check out the jewel storage room. You know, where he told us to go. Now where could that jewel storage room be? If I had any guess, it'd be on the second floor in a big room with no doors. Oh, wait up, Tim! Oh, it was the Whimsicott. This is the jewel storage room, the scene of the crime. I don't know why every police officer has like a Rocky's voice. The jewel storage room has been left exactly as it was at the time of the incident. Inspector Holiday's already filled me in. Please go right ahead.
Yes.
Thank you. Wow, look at that little treasure box. Oh my god, is that the castle in Legend of Zelda? What's going on here? Oh my gosh, the door! It's so intriguing. Not all this stuff on the ground. What is it, Pikachu? I checked out the door, but there are no signs of forced entry. Then we can be fairly certain that the thief used the key to get in. According to Dennis, this room's where the Aurora drop used to be. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, like all this stuff laying on the ground. I can't investigate that? Okay. Wait, what? Oh. This area looks more disturbed than the rest. Let's start investigating. We might find a clue. Alright. Don't let any details slip past you, Tim. Like all this stuff on the ground. Let's see, where should we look first? Like all this stuff on the ground. That looks like part of the jewel case. Based on the shape, do you think the top half of the case was cut off? Yes, it looks that way. It's a really clean cut. It was a scyther. Scyther! Oh, I knew it was you. Slicing it must have taken one seriously sharp blade. I doubt a human could pull that off. Oh. Here's a blue feather. Do you think the Pokemon it belonged to was in this room? Maybe it's from a Pokemon that lives in the mansion. Let's look into that later. There's some cotton on the ground. Looks really fluffy and soft. What's a bunch of cotton doing in here? Somebody leave the window open? Base of the jewel case is firmly fixed to the floor. Yeah, moving the base doesn't even look possible. I like this music. This is the only case that's damaged. Must be where they kept the Aurora drop. The edge looks like it was sliced clean with a blade. What kind of blade could slice this cleanly through such a sturdy jewel case? So in other words, they didn't use the key from Growla's neck. The jewel case is still locked. Like Dennis said, the jewel in this case is stored under lock and key. And the key to the case is a different key than the ones at the jewel storage room door. I wonder who has the key then?
Right.
Well, we've covered everything I was wondering about. Any other spots you want to check? I think I got all the ones that I could.
Okay, let's start deducing.
Oh, already?
Okay.
You've probably figured out how the culprit stole the jewel by now, eh? I mean, you're not stupid, right? Alright, let's begin deducing in your case notebook. I mean, to be completely fair, there's still a lot of open-ended questions here, but whatever. We'll deduce. We have a few plausible theories. Which do you think is right? Alright, let's take a look. The culprit cut open the case and stole the jewel. The culprit somehow cut open the jewel case to steal the Aurora drop. The culprit unlocked the case and stole the jewel. That's not right. The culprit may have used the key to unlock the jewel case and stole the Aurora drop. The culprit hasn't actually stolen the jewel yet. The culprit may not have taken the Aurora drop out of the jewel's storage room. Instead, they may have hidden it among the cotton fluff scattered throughout the room. How was the jewel stolen? Well, this wouldn't mean that it's stolen yet. Wait a minute. I mean, both these on the edge could be properly. I mean, this is like obvious. I'm gonna go with this one, even though it's probably wrong. I don't know if this is like what we're doing here. Are you serious, Tim? So anyways, I'm not gonna read that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was this one. My gut was telling me this one, but I was like, I was thinking it was gonna be like an A, B, C, D answer, so they would keep asking questions. From what we've seen at the crime scene, we could tell that the jewel case was sliced open. After that, the Aurora drop was removed from the case and taken away. Right, and we saw that the jewel case was still locked, which supports that claim. We still need to investigate more to determine how the case was sliced open. But at least now we know how the thief got their hands on the Aurora drop. Yeah, we've made our first step forward. Yeah, the reason why the other answer was wrong is because that's not how it was taken out of there.
Okay.
You understand how to use the case notebook now? Yep. Once I've got some evidence, I'll start deducing. Feel free to start deducing whenever you feel like it. Oh, you can just do it whenever you want now? After investigating the scene, we now know how the crime was carried out. We can be certain that the culprit sliced open the case and took the jewel from inside. There's just one thing that's strange. Oh yeah? Yeah, think, Tim. What's strange about the way the crime was committed? The jewel, the glass was cut, but the door was... What? The jewel was stored in this room. The jewel storage room door was locked. The glass was cut, but the door wasn't. Why do I feel like this is the answer right here, but they want me to say this? Oh my gosh. And I will say this, they did a good job on getting these like 50-50 questions going on. Making me second guess myself. I'm gonna go with this one. There's nothing strange about the door being locked. This isn't a museum, you know. Alright, if it's this one, then I need to go with my gut feeling in this game, because they are tugging with me on this game.
Oh!
The door to the storage room was opened with a key, but the jewel case was still locked when it was sliced apart. That's right. So that means the thief only had one of the keys, the one to the storage room. They didn't have the key to the jewel case. See, always trust your gut. According to Mr. Dennis, only he and Barnes can access the jewel storage room. I understand why the police suspect Barnes, but I'm not so sure. Police suspect Barnes. I said that completely weird. Obviously, it'd be best if we could talk to Barnes ourselves, but he's still being questioned. Well, how do you know that? He could not be being questioned. We're still up here in this room looking at looking at the walls. We need to ask Mr. Dennis about the lock on the jewel case. Right. After we wrap up here, let's go ask him. Where the hell did you come from? How's the investigation going, Tim? Oh, Mr. Dennis. Sorry, I couldn't stand just waiting around. Have you discovered anything? It does appear that the culprit used the storage room key to gain entry. We believe they then cut open the jewel case and took the Aurora drop. Is that so? I suppose that doesn't help Barnes much, since he has access to the key. I have a question for you, Mr. Dennis. Who put the cookies in the cookie jar? And why is all this dandruff flying in my eyeballs? It's really dangerous in here, you know? Where's the key to the jewel case? I have it right here. I always carry the key to the jewel case on my person. I've known Barnes a very long time, but I still won't give him this key. Ah. So then he can't have been, well, I mean, I guess it's anybody who could be the culprit, considering Growlithe has the key to the door. Okay. The security of the jewel case is my personal responsibility. Got it. So both Barnes and Dennis can access the key to the jewel storage room. But only Mr. Dennis has access to the key to the jewel case itself. That's valuable information, Mr. Dennis. Thank you. And honestly, how could it have been the butler if Growlithe won't let anybody near the key on his neck? Then it couldn't have been the butler, because he only lets Mr. Dennis near him. Or at least that's what I thought you said. Really? I thought I might be getting in the way, but I'm glad to hear I could help. The Aurora Drop is meant to become a symbol of revival for Ryme City, even though nobody comes in here to see it. Anyway, I'm counting on you, Tim. A symbol of revival? I've never even heard of this thing before now. Me neither. Let's ask Dennis about that later. Sounds kind of suspicious. Let's see. The thief cut open the case to steal the jewel, but they had the key to get into the storage room. And the only people who have access to that key are Denise and Barnes, so it makes sense that the police would suspect Barnes. If the key hadn't been used to unlock the storage room, Barnes wouldn't be under suspicion in the first place. Why would he do that, knowing people would suspect him? Maybe he didn't think that far ahead. After all, criminals are stupid. In any case, based on what we found at the scene of the crime, we can't be certain of anything just yet. Tim, we need to talk to Barnes and the other people in the mansion and hear what they have to say. Not just the people, Pokemon too. I'll interpret for you when we talk to them. Alright, I'm counting on you, Pikachu. Okay, now that we've got our next steps figured out, let's start interviewing everyone right away. Wait, you can just deduce? The police suspect Brandon Barnes is the culprit. Begin interviewing the people and Pokemon in the mansion. Alright. Any crazy Pokemon in here? Hey Tim, there's something on the floor by the window. Should we check it out? There's a window in here? Or is he talking about outside? Oh. How did he see that? Who's that Pokemon?
Oh.
Wait, why are you all the way over there, Pikachu? What's all this? Pokemon feathers? Oh, is this, what was that Pokemon? Ducklet? I think. Sure, it looks like it. They're scattered all over the floor, the window's open. Maybe a Pokemon got in or out through here. Do you think it has anything to do with this case? Look at this. One of these feathers is darker than the others. You're right, the other 6 are a lighter shade of blue. Something about that is nagging at me. There can only be one Pokemon. You can't go in here. This room is currently being searched by the police. Back away!
Whoa!
We may be investigating a crime, but we should still respect the residents' privacy. We shouldn't go barging into rooms that have nothing to do with the case, Tim. True. We need to focus on the jewel storage room. Wait, what? This lady just told me that the police are investigating this room. And Pikachu is sitting here telling me that this room has nothing to do with the case. What? Then why are they investigating the room? Whatever. That was obvious. Whoa, okay.
Yes?
Hello.
You certainly don't look like you're with the police.
I'm not.
State your business.
Oh. Oh, you're already taken. Never mind. Well, I won't bore you with the details. We're detectives. Mr. Dennis asked us to investigate the incident that occurred here. Detectives? Oh, I suppose my husband did say something about that. Your husband? That must mean your... Claudia Dennis, Sanjeev's wife. I saw you eyeballing me. I'm sorry to bother you, ma'am, but do you mind if we ask you some questions? I do mind, actually. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The case has already been solved. You poor peasant of a detective. What do you mean? The police said that Barnes is behind all this, so the matter's settled. Oh, okay, you're one of those people. You're one of those people that believe that just because somebody's being questioned by the police that they're already the suspect? Gotcha. We've heard that he's under suspicion, yes? But we can't be certain if it was Barnes who committed the crime. You sound just like my husband. A free thinker. Oh, I do hate people like you. You dirty Republican. Well, sorry you feel that way, ma'am. Jeez. I mean... I don't know where I'm going with this. This lady's portrait face looks like she came straight from one of those third-party games from like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. But nothing you say will change the fact that Barnes is the culprit. Barnes' partner Duckling was up to no good. I saw it with my own eyes. Did you witness the crime? Barnes' partner, Ducklet, was involved in the crime? Just look at you look as though you don't believe me.
Excuse me?
Is it true that you witnessed the crime? Well, I didn't exactly see it clearly. After all, I'm wearing glasses. Huh? But I did witness some irrefutable proof. What exactly did you see? At the time of the incident, I was enjoying a cup of tea in my room on the second floor. Just then I noticed a bird Pokemon flying outside the window. A bird Pokemon? Yes, I clearly saw a blue bird Pokemon. It had to have been Ducklet. We did find blue feathers near the window and in the storage room. So those were Ducklets? In hindsight, she was obviously stealing the jewel. I also heard a faint sound just before that, like something metallic. Metallic sound? Do you know what could have made that noise? No, I don't. But the storage room was ransacked, wasn't it? I suppose she must have broken something in the act. And I've heard it confirmed that Ducklet's feathers were found in the room. Isn't that proof enough that Barnes is the culprit? She's pretty darn convinced of her own theory. But all it's based on is a metallic sound and the sight of a flying blue bird Pokemon. Pretty flimsy, if you ask me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Dennis, but that information alone isn't enough to definitely prove Barnes is the culprit. Then hurry up and find whoever it is and get that jewel back! Isn't that what my husband hired you for? I get that she's upset, but she doesn't have to take it out on us.
Excuse me?
Mr. Dennis seems confident that Barnes is innocent. Oh yes, I'm sure he is. He's always been too trusting. Especially when it comes to Barnes. Those two really trust each other that much? I'm told Barnes has worked here for a very long time. Much longer, in fact, than I've known Sanjeev. I suppose that's why Barnes is always taking my husband's side. What do you mean by that? Whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, Barnes inevitably sides with Sanjeev. Even though I'm sure he believes he's being impartial. A lack of self-awareness is yet another one of his many flaws. I get the feeling Claudia is not a huge fan of Barnes. Do you think that's why she's so sure he's the thief?
Excuse me?
Could you tell me more about Ducklet? Ducklet is Barnes' partner. She dotes on him tirelessly and is always by his side. You mentioned earlier that she might be involved in the crime somehow. Would Ducklet be capable of such a thing? Yes, she even helps Barnes out with his shopping. She'd certainly be capable of making off the jewel. Well, whether or not Duckwood stole the jewel, the one thing that seems certain is that she really loves Barnes.
Yes?
The Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. Mr. Dennis told me the same thing. But do you really understand? Can you even comprehend just how valuable it is? Huh? I knew it. Just look at those blank expressions. Hey, my face always looks like this. As it is, I'm not even sure my husband understands the true value of that jewel. After getting his hands on something so precious, why would he want to donate it to Ryme City? So you're against donating the Aurora Drop? Of course I am. Treasures like that aren't meant to be paraded about for the general public, you dirty peasants. They should be preserved for quiet observation by a selected few. Hard to imagine her quietly doing anything. Said it, Pikachu. Let's talk to our big pink friend here. All ears for mansion gossip. Fab! Oh, it's Cool Fable. Miss Dennis's partner, apparently. Can I ask you a few questions? Hey! Whoa, what gives? No need to be so rude. What's wrong? She's called me a yellow rat. Seems like she's really suspicious of us. Maybe she's feeling sensitive after the incident here. We all know what's... Too many sensitive people around here. Where are you going? There's no reason for us to head back into the city right now. You're right. Let's keep investigating the match. I wasn't trying to leave. I was just happened to be walking next to the door.
I see.
I take it you've heard what Mr. Dennis had to say. Guessing he also told you about his butler. He's definitely not pleased that Barnes has fallen under suspicion. It sure seems that way. In my position, I'm not at liberty to share all the information we've gathered. But if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. Thank you. What was the situation in the mansion at the time of the incident? We're still looking into that. You know, under investigation. I'm sure you'll get more direct answers by asking the witnesses themselves. He's right. We should take this one step at a time and gather our own intel. I was told Barnes is the police's prime suspect. Well, the circumstantial evidence certainly seems to be pointing in his direction. He doesn't sound terribly convinced. Does anything strike you as odd? Yes, actually. I can't think of a single motive for Barnes to steal that jewel. He doesn't appear to bear any ill will toward Mr. Dennis, and he's in no trouble financially. That being said, we may uncover a motive in the course of our investigation, but for now, I can't say anything with certainty. Understood. I hear the Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. The Aurora Drop's not just valuable, it's famous throughout the entire jewelry industry. Jesus. Sorry, I had a little burp there. And there must be plenty of people who'd like to get their hands on it. Jesus, what have you been eating, man? Could the jewel have been stolen by an intruder? I can't rule out that possibility, and if you want to know, I was eating Cheetos. But based on the current evidence, I'd say the likelihood of a burglary is low. I didn't mean to say that again. I was trying to go down, but it wouldn't go down. Inspector Holliday? I know this has nothing to do with the current case, but you want to ask me about Harry? Yes, do the police have any new leads on my father's whereabouts? I'm sorry, Tim, but we haven't made any developments on that front. Oh, well thanks anyways. I still don't understand it myself. Harry was working on the R case when he went missing, so it stands to reason that if you follow that thread, you'd find Harry too. The case has been closed and we still don't have a single clue. Seriously? Where did Harry disappear off? Don't be discouraged, Tim. Look at how far you've come in the 2 years since you moved to the city in search of your father. You've become such a great detective that the mayor himself recognized you with an award. You'll find Harry, I'm sure of it, and in the meantime, I'll keep offering whatever help I can. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Inspector Holliday. Lieutenant McMaster is currently interviewing Mr. Barnes in this room.
Excuse me?
I guess it would be too much for us to ask to join him.
planet.
Ah, okay. You made yourself clear. I won't bother you while you're working. Now, who is this guy? Who the hell are you?
Hello there, Detective Tim. I mean, Detective Goodman?
Well, you seem awfully suspicious. Larry Turner. Wait, you are the detective, right? That's what Mr. Dennis said, at least. The name's, wait, that's not proper enough. Sorry, but my name is Larry Turner, and I'm a member of the house staff. House staff, huh? Seems in over his head. If you need anything, just let me know. I mean, please inform me if... You really don't have to be so formal with us. Thanks, that's a huge relief. I got this job a while ago, but I'm still not used to talking all fancy. Uh-oh, is that a problem? Well, it's a good thing for me that Barnes deals with all the important guests. My main duties are taking care of the Pokemon, managing the house, and groundskeeping. And I can handle all that, no problem. I don't know, this guy isn't exactly filling me with confidence in his ability to do his job. Anyway, you wanted to ask about what happened, right? I mean, I already told the police everything I know. I'm really sorry for taking up more of your time. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I'm not complaining or anything. It's just that I don't remember what happened very well. Something attacked me out of nowhere and I blacked out. Something attacked him? So, not the thief then. Can you please tell us more about that, Mr. Turner? Sure, no problem. Right, so where start? I was just doing my job like normal today. I've made food for the Pokemon, did some cleaning around the mansion, that sort of thing. I think I was tidying the garden when it happened. I saw a duckling fly out of a second-story window. Or maybe he was just falling, I don't know. As I recall, I wondered where she was going. I mean, usually duckling just walks out the front door. It seemed weird to me, so I went upstairs to see what was going on. That's when I saw that the door to the jewel storage room was wide open. As if that wasn't shocking enough, the moment I went to look inside, I suddenly got punched by a Pokemon. Next thing I knew, I was lying on a sofa and someone was treating my wounds. A Pokemon punched you? Yeah, I feel like I glimpsed a small red figure for just a moment. Based on the size, it could have been a human, so I'm guessing it was a Pokemon. A red Pokemon? Do you know what kind it was? I'm really not sure. It all happened so fast. I see. I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad you weren't seriously hurt. Haha, that's what the doctor said too. No Pokemon would want to steal the Aurora Drop. It's possible that the culprit ordered their partner Pokemon to swipe the jewel and punch out Turner. So, Tim, now that you've heard Turner's story, what do you think? We need to find the duckling that flew out the window and that red Pokemon too. Yep, you got it.
Excuse me?
Did you see anything else when the Pokemon attacked you? The thief who brought the Pokemon along was probably nearby. Unfortunately, that's all I saw. I see. Can you think of any other details that might give us a clue about the culprit? Nothing in particular is coming to mind. I mean, Mr. Dennis is such a nice person. I've never heard of anyone holding a grudge against them, and I was really surprised to hear that Barnes is a suspect. You don't think Barnes is responsible? I guess the police must have some reason to suspect him, but honestly, I just can't believe it. Barnes is still showing me the ropes around here. He's a great coworker with tons of experience. I mean, if you'd known Barnes before all this, you could never even imagine him being a thief.
Excuse me?
Do you know anything about the stolen jewel? The Aurora Drop? I've never even seen the thing. It's been shut up in that storage room ever since it was brought to the house. Of course, I know it's valuable and all. I assume that's what's been causing all the arguments between Mr. and Mrs. Dennis lately. What sort of arguments? In case you haven't heard, Mr. Dennis says he's gonna donate the Aurora Drop. Seems like Mrs. Dennis is against that plan. They've been fighting about it almost nightly. Every night must really be a point of contention. I guess Miss Dennis doesn't want to give up such a valuable jewel. So the Aurora Drop's been driving a wedge between husband and wife, eh? Do I need to investigate? Oh, I never talked to Rowland. Well, it's Dennis's partner, Rowland. She sure doesn't look happy. Wow. Apparently she feels responsible. No wonder why she's so down. Maybe we should leave her alone for a while. Ask me anything you like. What makes the Aurora Drop a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the R incident, my jewel shop suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of the R incident? Yes, some Pokemon who've been exposed to R went berserk. The rampage destroyed my shop, to say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. By that time, I had already had the Aurora Drop. I kept it stored safely in the shop. So, was the Aurora Drop damaged too? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora Drop was the only one to remain unscathed. In fact, debris fell so perfectly around the Aurora Drop that you might believe it was being protected. That's incredible. I guess there's some magic left in the world after all. Ever since then, the Aurora Drop became known as the jewel that survived the R incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it, and thanks to all that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Sounds like a valuable jewel, in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion instead of keeping it at your shop? I've decided to donate it to Ryme City. The Aurora Drop, but why donate something so precious to you? It's not just precious to me, and that's exactly why I've decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring the start of Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was about time I did mine. So I wanted to donate the jewel that survived the R incident as a symbol of Ryme City's revival. I hope that by doing so, I can help liven up not just my shop, but the whole city as well. Wow, Denise, I'm so impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everyone is so pleased about it. Oh? Ah, forget I said anything. I should have burdened you with the concern of such personal matters. For now, I'm counting on you to find the Aurora Drop as quickly as possible. Understood. We'll do everything we can. Now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll thank you to leave the mansion until further notice. We'll thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah.